Hello and welcome back to Elroy, the Downtown Memories. This is part 6, A Turn in the Road Leads to 2nd Main Street. This is a map drawing of Elroy in 1879. If you look in the middle of the picture, you'll see Main Street. As you travel towards the right, heading towards the library, you will notice that the street does not connect in the way that we're all used to, even with the construction that's happening in 2020. This is Main Street looking towards the library, which is where the purple box is. But that is not the library in the picture. It's an actual home that the Grimshaw family once lived in. Main Street stopped at this point. To explain this, right there where that purple box is where the home in the picture on the right-hand side, the same home that sat in the middle of Main Street. You were to stop, take a sharp left up Prospect, and then an immediate right onto 2nd Main Street. 2nd Main Street is actually the road directly in front of the library. To clarify this, as you look at this photo, in the left-hand side is a dark purple box. That's where the Elroy Theater is. The golden box is where the doghouse stands. So if you were traveling out of town, you would go along Main Street, and just after CarQuest, you'd take a sharp left up Prospect for a short period of time, and then go down Main Street again. That's right, we had 2 Main Streets at one point in Elroy. It was changed later to the words 2nd Main Street. The light purple box is where the Elroy Library was built in 1908. So this junction, right at the triangle, where you turn up Prospect and down 2nd Main, you'll see the building right there in the corner. You'll see it in 2020 in the upper right-hand side and in the early 1900s on the lower left. Please note that there was a water tank in the middle of the road, which is where the photo with the children is taken. This view from the early 1900s is of 2nd Main and Liberty. So Liberty is the street that the library is on, Liberty and 2nd Main. So if you were standing at that corner looking south, this is the view that you had. Now, if you look in the middle of the street, you're going to see the water tank. This next picture that I show you is going to be from the point of the water tank forward. So this is one street up, kind of where the middle of the road to the side is where the water tank would have been, and the buildings you see on the left-hand side are CarQuest. So honestly, this is even hard for me to imagine. So I put myself back in time. Here's a photo from 1946, an aerial view, but I'm going to imagine 1908. I'm in my horse and cart, and I'm traveling along Main Street, passing right in front of where CarQuest is today. This building on the corner is no longer standing. It was brought down by a fire in the early 2000s and is a parking lot. So right here is where I have to stop. I have to go up Prospect because there's a house right there, and then right here I'm going to decide to water my horse at that watering hole, and then continue on out of town to get to, say, where the current day high school is. I'm going to pass the Elroy Library right there, and I'm going to make a straight shot, straight through. 2nd Main goes all the way. Not like it does today, in which the road turns and meets up with Academy. Now, with this same idea in mind, you have to imagine this entire block was business. So all along here was a Smith's livery, about in the same spot where we have the Amco building, the Subway building. It's been a number of businesses over the years. It's in this same spot where Smith's livery once stood. So at that time, there was a number of businesses on 2nd Main. It was a thriving place to be. Here's a picture, more close up, of the Elroy livery. We covered this before in a previous show. but it's still kind of interesting to look at. Our last view was looking south on 2nd Main. This time we're looking north. So understanding where the livery stands, looking up north, you'll notice the street is completely straight. Look at the electrical lines, because that was the way you got through to the other side of Elroy. 2nd Main was a thriving area for commerce. On the left-hand side where you see the awning, I'm going to show you a photo of a grocery store that once stood there. And on the right-hand side, you'll see J.J. Owen's restaurant. Let me give you a fun few facts. This photo is the one that stumped me for months. I could not figure out where this restaurant was located. Finally, when I looked at 2nd Main and I realized there was more buildings after the livery, I could pick out the window frames in the photo before and know that this is H.C. Lang Restaurant, along with a whole lot of watermelons. Across the street from the Langs was Jack Owen's restaurant. He was quite a character according to a number of articles I've read in old newspapers. One thing I found interesting about the photo on the left-hand side is you can see the thumbprint of whoever created either the negative or the print. Can you see it? J. Owen's restaurant was Elizabeth Beezy Baines, who stands on her own to the far right of this photo. She had a dressmaking business begun in 1890 and was still running strong in 1928. So 1896 versus 2020, if you're traveling along your car and you pass CarQuest, you stay on the same road. And this cuts right through this section to this corner. This is where the Elroy Library is. And right after the library, it really cuts through again all the way until this point right about here, where Academy Street meets Cedar. At this point during natural travel, most people continue down the road on Academy towards the Royal Schools, and a few folks take that left-hand turn to go to Kendall. Here we are where we began, Elroy in 1879. I'll give you a few moments just to enjoy this photo. That ends part 6. A turn in the road becomes 2nd Main Street. I hope you've enjoyed the journey and did not get lost on the way. Please consider supporting your Elroy area chamber, the Elroy Historical Society, and any of your libraries. All of them worked together to create these fun little films. Have a wonderful day.